Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming new moon that is coming up on November 23rd, tomorrow, and it will be charged with the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. A sign of a visionary, a sign of a seeker for the deeper truth, but also a sign of adventurist. So if you sense right now that it's time for a new adventure in your life, this is the time, my friends. So it's time for an adventure in your personal growth, most importantly. If your life feels kinda boring right now, or you feel kinda stuck, and in the previous video we've been talking about this slow energy that often people describe it as an energy of, feeling depressed, feeling a sense of being unmotivated, uninspired. What I call this sense or this sensation is a moment of depressed, a moment for deep introspection, where we check up within ourselves. How are we doing? Where or how far we've come and who we have become, and are we still following our greatest values, our deepest truth? Or are we maybe mistaking or replacing the inner truth for certain beliefs? Because sometimes we may hear a lot about what the truth is and what we should follow, especially when it comes to spirituality. There are so many beliefs that may mislead us from the truth. And I always want to remind you, in tune with yourself and find out what feels right for you, so you can actually recognize for yourself what is resonating with you, what is setting you into the state of coherence. When you feel aligned with yourself, you feel true with yourself, and you feel that pleasant sensation being in your body and experiencing your life the way that your life is meant to be for you. So if you feel like your life feels kind of boring to you, it's because you got so used to how you live it that nothing brings you any joy no more. So it's time to make space for change. And with this video, I want to give you an intuitive update about this present energy and how can you use it for the greatest possible manifestation and rejuvenation. So when it comes to adventure, I like to look at it on from a bit different perspective, because when we are thinking about adventure, we are thinking about traveling, moving through places, exploring new things, right? But actually, adventure is so exciting because we go to travel to new places where we experience new things, new moments, new people, new beautiful wonders of nature, and so on. But what if we actually train ourselves to experience each day in our lives as an adventure? So how can we achieve that state? Well, when we start expanding our awareness, our small things that inspire us through the day, we'll recognize that actually, rather than just being unconscious, moving through moments, we start looking for the positive things and events and sometimes words that we hear from other people, and we become therefore more conscious about what's happening in our lives. And this is truly an important moment right now for you to become more aware of those things. So the first reminder I want to give you for this message today and this new energy that's coming with the new moon is that it is a time for an adventure in your personal growth. But more importantly than just exploring new places, firstly, ask yourself, what inspired you today? Make your life an adventure. Make each day an adventure. And it's not just something that sounds like cliche, you know, we hear it all the time. But truly, when I've started teaching myself to become more aware of the positive events that are happening in my life and tiny little positive details that may happen, you know, sometimes when I'm talking with somebody, a certain sentence or a certain word just sparked an interesting inspiration within me. And that's something that I could just ignore, you know, after that conversation I could distract myself with the phone, or I could start thinking about what will be the next message for you or what will be the next painting, and immediately I could just forget about that beautiful experience that happened. But I've started finishing my days with journaling, the way that I ask myself what inspired me today, what positively surprised me today. And it sparks a moment of reflection for me for the beautiful moments that happened in my day. And it's so interesting how it creates a momentum of starting to see more of those positive details. So, you know, it created such an interesting change in my life because every single day I've started to become more aware of these positive things, and suddenly I've noticed even if I have same routines, same rituals every single day, every day I have actually different experiences with the same rituals. Everyday meditation is a bit different. Sometimes I think that, for example, today in the morning I was meditating for 1 hour, and for 1 hour straight I couldn't calm down my mind. And firstly I thought that I had the worst possible meditation, but then I started writing a reflection of how that meditation went, and I've noticed that actually during the meditation I've experienced 3 different moments of clarity about certain things that I need to work on in my life, and so on. So after all, I've noticed that it was not so bad meditation. I was not really feeling pleasant and calm, but I've experienced clarity. So this is something truly, truly interesting, you know, when we just start training ourselves to become more perceptive for this positive changes that are happening. And that's what transforms our lives from being bored into being on an adventure for learning, for growth, for expansion. A beautiful time right now to make that transition, that transformation. The second reminder I want to give you with this message is to become a visionary. Like I mentioned, a sign of Sagittarius is a sign of a visionary. Always, I mean, not always, but looking into the future and looking forward for what he or she wants to experience in life. So take a moment and envision what would be the greatest possible expression of you and how your reality would look like if you would already be that person, that version of you. So why it is important, we're talking a lot about this, and sometimes I'm repeating myself, and it's okay. And often I also see in the comments that you guys are writing that I'm often talking about similar things, and that's true. You know, life is not so complicated, but not often in our daily lives we are reminded of those important things, like reminding ourselves of the future that we want to experience, reminding ourselves of the version of ourselves that could be the greatest possible expression of who can we become. Not often we are reminded to look on life as an adventure, and not just, you know, some fake positive thinking, but truly asking ourselves, what inspired us today? How could I see more of those things that sparks that generous joy in our hearts? So we learn to stay in that state of grace within our hearts, right? Often we are bombarded with fearful information, so it's easy to forget that. And why I'm repeating often those things, so they can wire into your brain and they can stay there. So when you next time fall into a certain emotional reaction, you catch yourself and you ask yourself, is this serving right now my version that I want to become? Is this helping me to become that future self I want to become, and I know that I'm meant to become it? And of course it will start producing changes in your life, and those changes will be visible, and because of our mirror neurons, people around you will notice those changes. And when we notice somebody changing in a positive direction, it inspires us to do the similar things, and whatever can help us on that path, we will apply it. And that's something truly beautiful to see. So it's an important moment. Every single month we have those moments. For example, new moon always represents entering into a new phase. Ending certain chapter and starting a new one. And for me, I've noticed that every single week and month I have a greater clarity about my future, what's important to me, what's not important to me, on what I need to work on. So think right now what you need to work on to become who you truly want to become. What or who inspires you to become it? So you can have an example how it looks like to be that kind of a version of yourself. What are the habits, the actions, the words, the body posture, and so on of that person that you admire so much? And what are the hardest emotions to overcome so you can become that version of you? What if the best case happens? Have you ever asked yourself, what if the best case actually happens? How would you feel? What if it all works out? Who would you be then? And truly dig deeper into those questions, because they will bring you so much closer to where you want to be, and you will experience so much more clarity. And you are supported. With this present energy right now, you are so supported on that path. The third reminder I want to give you is that it is a truly important time right now to rewrite your inner truth. So the thing is that we all have stories and narratives that we tell ourselves about our lives, and of course they form perspectives and form our assumptions and expectations of ourselves and the world around us. And some of the stories may be helpful for our growth, for our transformation, and may serve us and help us to form our identity. But there's also many stories still present within our subconscious mind that may block our greatest potentials, our greatest possible transformation and growth. And those may be beliefs about anything that is not helping us to be empowered, to be free. And truly doesn't matter from where those beliefs are coming from. It may be something related to religion, something related to spirituality, something related to certain theories, something related to how you should be, how you should behave, what's possible for you. Many of the stories may come from our childhood, when we were really little. We had no control over our environment, so we were just consuming what was thrown into us. And it became unconscious. So we may still be acting, reacting, responding, behaving out of what we've perceived when we were really, really little. So every single day we may find out more of these unconscious patterns. So pay attention to what is your truth right now that you're following, and see if there's any space for change. If you could rewrite your personal truth about life, about what's possible, about who you are meant to become, and see if it is resonating with that deep truth that you usually feel when you're in your natural state, when you're at your favorite place in nature, when you're in that calm state in meditation, when you're listening your favorite song and creating your favorite artwork, or maybe if you're making music, when you're in that flow state. See if the truth that you believe in, or you are thinking about it, or you may be limited by it, is resonating with your inner truth, with that truth that you experience when you're in your natural state. Because that will help you to align yourself back with those heartfelt values. And it may cause some major changes in your daily behaviors. So pay attention to it. The fourth reminder I want to give you for this present time right now is that we may learn through life that we are the happiest we can be when we are the most in tune with our authentic self, the individual authentic signature. So each of us here, each individual soul, each individual human being right here, right now, has a unique signature, unique authentic signature. But because of the society and all the programs, we've become so similar to everybody else. And something truly important is to recognize what makes us unique, what makes us different. Because in the past we were taught that, because we've been taught that way, that what makes us different makes us weird or kind of special. And because people don't want to be weird, they rather adapt to the society. But what if what makes you different is what makes you special in a positive way? So we can add up something unique to this world, so we can make it more loving, more beautiful, more wonderful place to be. It can only be possible when you remind yourself once again, or you remember once again what makes you different. Is that an ability to download great ideas? Is that an ability to create beautiful art? Is that an ability to communicate with people on that heart level? Is that an ability to connect the right people together? I have a friend who always connects the right people together, and that's so beautiful how some people just have that natural gift for seeing the beauty in every single individual. And then, for example, Maya, my girlfriend, she's like a sunshine for people. Wherever she comes or wherever we are, she always just somehow is able to spark light within anyone she's communicating with. And those are, our natural gifts that we brought to this world. And we need to recognize it once again so we can embody more of it, so we can start appreciating it, so we can embrace what makes us different, what makes us unique. Because only that way each of us can be a bright light and a beautiful color to this painting we call life. And that's something truly, truly amazing. So don't be afraid to be you, my friends. Don't be afraid to be you. And the last reminder I want to give you here for this upcoming new moon is to ask yourself, how could you start building your life around what gives you a sense of purpose and meaning? So this is truly an important question, and the whole message until now is leading us to answering that question. How could you start building your life around what gives you a sense of purpose and meaning? So you've probably noticed that we are living in a world that is much more safer than it was 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. But the thing is that we still have that part of the brain within us of a caveman. And for most people, that part of the brain is still leading most of their lives. And according to neuroscience, that part of the brain is old 4 million years. And that part of the brain is still navigating a lot of your decisions. And that part of the brain is active when you're thinking negatively, when you're scared, when you're afraid, when you're looking onto yourself from that negative perspective, because it just wants to keep you safe. Nothing wrong with that. We need that, especially when we are in danger. But the truth is that most of us are living in houses, in places where we are kinda safe. So we also need to learn to develop that other part of the brain that is also more and more active as we are becoming more creative and more intuitive and more authentic, that we actually start looking on life from that creative perspective. And we start asking ourselves, what gives me a sense of purpose on this world? What gives me a sense of meaning on this world? So we can focus more onto that creative aspect of life. Because whatever gives us meaning and a sense of purpose is something that is deeply related to what I call a soul mission. And I call it a soul mission because it just, every time we do it, it feels like our soul is glowing. Like we just allow our bodies to be a channel for that great energy that is moving through us, and it feels like that. We lose ourselves in that flow state. We lose the sense of identity, and we just become a vehicle of that divine consciousness, flow of creative ideas. And the outcome of that can be a music that can truly activate hearts of others, paintings that can awaken a lot of love and curiosity for creation in many people, and so on. When people become like channelers for that energy, what they produce becomes really healing and really, really powerful. And many people are opening themselves to that flow of life, and that's something truly, truly incredible. And it starts with a greater understanding of what gives a sense of purpose and meaning. To me, it's creating art, making paintings, and you've seen my paintings, and many people found them really, really inspiring. And when I had my exhibition, many people started crying when they were observing art, and I couldn't expect that, but I've noticed that people found them as really, really healing. And I still receive many messages when people are watching my videos, even if they're not listening the message, they start crying when they are observing a painting. And that's to me something beautiful, and we all can do that. It's not that somebody special and is able to do that. We all can do it. If we in tune with that sense of purpose and meaning, and we all can in tune with that part of us, if we train ourselves to do that, we become creators of something really healing, really beautiful. So, my friends, one more time, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to develop more of what makes you unique. In tune with what feels the most natural to you, and start working on that. So, my friends, this is it for today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting and message. I hope you found something valuable in it. And till next time, have a beautiful creative day, and thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop. I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. I love you all. Have a magnificent day, and one love.